Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but I had that young man over there, Foxy, and when he was in high school at an Adidas Nations camp, and obviously I walked away with his impressed with his speed, uh, but I thought he was a dog defensively, and he is who he is because he earned it. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on him coming from me, not anybody else, to get back to what I know he can do on this level, night in and night out. So I'm excited about all of this. And then we got the young fella right there that's going to do his thing too. So I'm excited about all this, but it starts at the head of the snake. And those two guys up there, for me, great to have.
Unleash the dog in De'Aaron Fox.
And it's something I felt like I saw when he was at the University of Kentucky. You saw flashes last year going up against some of the bigger guys in the league. I love him saying that here. And it's honest. It's the truth. You give the guy some love, but you're also putting pressure on him, and you're doing it publicly. He's in the room.
Yeah.
And that's the reality is we could spend all day, hey, how the Kings get better. Can Mike Brown do this? I feel like a lot of next season hinges on what type of De'Aaron Fox will the Kings get. I saw De'Aaron Fox today at the press conference. He didn't look like he did at last offseason, right? Where he put on some weight.
Yeah.
He looks like he's in great shape. And we'll see what that looks like come, October once training camp hits. But I still maintain, and I know there's a lot of Fox haters out there, and they thrive on this right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still bullish on him. I still feel like he could turn out to be what we all thought he could be in the NBA. I think he could be such a better defensive player. And if Mike Brown and his coaching staff can help guide him to put him in positions to succeed, it can go a long way. And I thought the point he brought up about Steph Curry. Steph Curry was not a good defensive player in the NBA. He's still not what you would call he's not like some lockdown defensive player, but Steph Curry has worked on his game defensively big time. He's probably played, I think, this year the best defense he's ever played.
As an individual defender
Yes.
and as a team defender, right? Just understanding Mike Brown's defensive philosophy, understanding the importance of talking, having your hands up, trusting your teammates. Just those fundamental things you learn throughout the years, but then you need someone sometimes to manage you differently at this level. And that's why we've talked about that with De'Aaron Fox for so many years, how if there was someone that could bring that side out of him. Now, he has to bring it out of himself too, right? You can't just blame a coach because De'Aaron Fox isn't playing on the defensive end. No. But at the same time, you can not only see that De'Aaron Fox is so capable, and then Mike Brown giving you even more confidence that, I've seen it before. He is very capable. And I truly believe it's something we can see this season, but we need to see it consistently from De'Aaron Fox, and that's something that's going to have to come from himself. And I know, just like you said, there's so many De'Aaron Fox haters still, but I think it's because everyone just expected him to be this superstar, and he doesn't need to be this superstar in the league. But when you're in Sacramento, you just think every draft pick has to be the next LeBron James or you're effed, right? You're not going to get anywhere in this league. But it doesn't need to be like that. The developmental coaches and techniques need to be different in Sacramento. It's something Sacramento has never had. And hopefully this is the season with this coaching staff, Mike Brown and his coaching staff can develop not only the draft picks, but even help teach some of the guys like De'Aaron Fox how to play basketball the right way.
And it can't just be sporadically.
No.
Right? There's a lot of... I saw someone in the chat mention this. I think it was Senior and Formo, and I know we're getting a lot of people in the chat. Appreciate everyone being here, and I'll try to get to more of them. But he said this could be a make it or break it year for Fox in Sacramento, and it probably is. I go back to what Fox said at the start of all this, the day after the season when it was clear Gentry was not going to be the guy.
Yeah.
They were going to have a coaching search. Fox talked about the need and want for structure.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, Mike Brown laid that out in his opening statement. He just talked about defense, and none of what he said about defense was conceptual at that point. He was just talking about the trust and the effort and the communication. That's the bare minimum. And I would also say this, it's the want. You see it when you watch some of these guys. Like Davion Mitchell, he's a different type of dude. But that guy wants to defend.
Yeah.
He loves it. You don't have to love it, but if you want to win in this league, you have to bring it consistently. The concepts and all that stuff, look, that's going to change, And if there's one guy that changed a lot, it was Mike Brown during the playoffs. Like, how many different looks at the Warriors
God.
throw out in the Mavs series? Different zones, different coverages, adjustments. Same with the finals. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. And that's probably his biggest task is the defense, but I'd even put the other stuff ahead of it. What he said at the very beginning when he was talking about just establishing a culture.
Yeah. Because when you establish that culture, and he talked about the trust, anyone, if you are just a basketball person and you understand the game, you have to understand how much trust is needed on that defensive end. Yeah, it's needed on the offensive end. You want the ball to move around because then you trust your teammates. Like, you're going to get it back. You don't need to go in ISO and play hero ball. You're good. But defensively, it's purely about trust the entire possession and trusting that your guy's going to be there and that your guy's going to talk to you and he's going to call out that screen so you don't get knocked out. Like, all those little things matter. And if your team doesn't trust you or trust each other, you're going to have a lot more breakdowns like the Kings have had over the years, especially on the defensive end.